He was on my table. I opened up his chest and took his heart. Now he's walked out and I'm just standing here. An excerpt from page 23 of Simon, Superhero in Training by Lucas W Mayberry. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel and to the review of Simon, Superhero in Training by Lucas W Mayberry, which is a sequel to Simon, Not Your Average Superhero that I previously reviewed. And I'm so excited to review this book. I'm so happy to experience this book. It is one of those fantastic science fiction that I've read in a long while. I love the characterization, I love the storytelling techniques, and I love the scenarios of the events that happened all in the novel. It's very captivating, it is awesome, it is fantastically written, and it's one of those great novels that I've read in a long while. If you're the type that loves science fiction that has a blend of fantasy because there's magic in the book, if you're the type that loves science fiction that has a good number of action in it, then I'm pretty sure that Simon, Superhero in Training is going to be a good read for you. I'm very, very sure they're going to enjoy picking up Simon, Superhero in Training, which is the second book in series to the first one here. Simon, Not Your Average Superhero. So my review of this book is actually going to be a spoiler free as usual. I won't be talking too much about the book. I'm just going to be giving you a short video book recommendation for you to have an idea of what Lucas W Mayberry has had to communicate in this wholesome novel that piqued my interest, that held me captive until I finished indulging emotions in it. Before I proceed in my review, I'd love to read to you the synopsis at the back page of the book. He's back, he's bitter, and he's better than before. Helped by the enigmatic author, Simon has escaped torture, but the Green Hoard's underlings are hot on his heels. He believes they are safe for now, or so they thought. Regrouping on a scheduled Scottish island with his wife and friend, Simon and the others train for a fight they know will be bigger than they've ever faced. Still confused by his new superhero abilities, Simon texts his wits and strength to uncover the full extent of his heroic powers. When he discovers the true identity of the Green Hoard, the ensuing chaos drags them back into the fray. Kill the intense, epic battle between Simon and the Green Hoard. In this powerful follow-up to Simon, Not Your Average Superhero, Lucas W Mayberry delivers once again on the valiant superhero origin story. And that's what you stand to gain reading through Simon, Superhero in Training. That's what you stand to experience reading through this fantastic book that had me in captive until I finished indulging my emotions in it. It is very wholesome. It is fantastically written. It's one of those fantastic science fiction novels that I've read in a long while. So, following on from the adventure of Simon in the first book series, which I reviewed in time past on a spoiler-free mood, I would love to also make this a spoiler-free and pick it up in a way that I wouldn't be giving too much away. From the start here, I mentioned that Simon had finished a job interview that did not went well, and how he boarded the train, which he had no idea is going to drastically impact his life, and how on the train something terrible happened, and there was an attack. There was a bomb left on the train, and as Simon got to discover that there is a bomb on the train, he announced to quite a lot of people on the train and start getting them out over and over again till transition keep moving, and Simon was visited by Araf, the man who is one of the Zoholo tribe from Sudan, somewhere in Africa. And from here, Araf gave Simon a superpower while he was lying in a state of coma in his hospital. And like I said previously, that Simon who was still in a state of coma, woke up suddenly to a power and strength that he had no idea where it's coming from. And the story of Simon, from not your average superhero, keep unfolding from one part to another, and it was captivating till Simon began to, execute a lot of powers and begin to get tired of his power, begin to know that something is not right with him, and he began to go on the search to look for Araf, just so Araf can explain to him how it came about these unnatural, weird superpowers. So coming from the transition here, there's a terrible occurrence that happened here, which was when a green ode known as Morgana attacked an open field with an intention to cause a chaos, with an intention to cause a bomb explosion, and how Simon took the bomb and flew up higher above the sky into the planet outside the Earth, just to make sure that the bomb didn't explode, and just to make sure that the people that are on the field are saved. So this keep unfolding, the story keep unfolding to the point whereby Simon fought with this green hole. It was a terrible battle between the two, and eventually Simon was rescued by Arthur. The introduction of Arthur actually make the book quite interestingly, and Arthur is actually someone whom Kosi had told Simon about while he was on his journey to Africa. And from here, Arthur met Simon. It was quite amazing. I love the scenario of event that happened between Arthur and Simon, and how they were able to come together and how they were able to work together. It was very wholesome. Then when Simon went back, Simon is someone that always have vision, he always see the future, and has the ability to perceive things that are yet to come. So here, there's another terrible attack in an open field. This green ode actually worked together with Owain, and Owain is trying to cause attack in places whereby there are a lot of people, for them to recognize themselves as terrorists and for them to be able to control the war based on his mission and based on his aim. So here there was a fight that broke up between the Green Hood and Simon. The Green Hood had come to this field again, wanted to cause an explosion, and here Simon and Vassia and Zach were all together. So Simon began to fight this Green Hood, recognized as Morgana. It was a terrible fight between the two, and from here the police came also. That's Adia and Stone, those funny cop. They came around. Here the Green Hood shot one of the cop, that's Adia, and Adia was quickly rushed to the hospital. So this have the policeman running after Simon, after Zach, and after Vassia. And in my own perception, even just like Vassia told them that what is wrong with you guys? The Green Hood is the one causing problem here. He's the one that you guys are supposed to be running after, but you cannot catch her because she keeps disappearing in instance, in the twinkling of an eye. My husband Simon is innocent. We're just trying to help and save humanity. She's the one you should try to catch. But the policemen, I don't know what's wrong with them, but in my own perception, I kind of think that they are incompetent. They can't catch that woman because she keeps disappearing and putting them in a whole lot of suspense. So they were going to make do with Vassia, with Simon, with Zach. So from here, Vassia, Simon, and Zach, they flee. They started running, and it was funny how Simon intended to use his power to fly. He couldn't lift more than one person, and realized that he has been losing his power for some past days, and he did not have that strength like he used to. But there's something very funny, hilarious, captivating, and cynic that happened here. That was when the policemen were pursuing them. Simon was able to make do inside a particular toilet. He was able to hide Vassia and Zach. Even though Zach, based on the description in the novel, is obese, very fat, while he was able to hide the two people, he was nearly caught, and he hasn't found a place to hide himself. But within his mind, he wished that he could turn to someone else. And just of a sudden, the policeman said, "Turn and your hands up." And they were like, "Oh, sorry, madam. I'm sorry." And someone was quite shocked. He was even surprised that his face had turned to the woman he think of, to what he imagined. And I think that's the feature that Simon possessed. Whatever I think in his heart always come to him like a reality, something like that. From here, it was quite very amazing. And after the policeman left, they went to Simon's house. Whenever Simon is going to go inside his house, he could see from afar that the policemen are already around his house. Same with Zach. So they had no place to go, they had no place to resort to, until they have to visit Arthur to find refuge at Arthur's place. When they got to Arthur's place, Arthur lives on an island very far from the heart, I supposed. When they got to Arthur's place, they told Arthur of the grain hoard. They told Arthur of the problem at hand, and Arthur sat them down. This was when they were able to have a long, fantastic conversation, and Arthur made it known to Zach that I know the green old woman you're talking about. I'm going to tell you a very long story. I'm going to reveal some facts to you. So Arthur told them that the green old is his own younger sister. He told him a long history about his father and how his sister Morgana connived with Unwin to kill his own father. So in Arthur's abode, Vassia and Simon passed through several months of training, up to 6 months, and they were able to train over and over again in sword fighting and other fights, just for them to be equipped for what is yet to come. This part is actually very interesting, very amazing, and from here, from the conversation actually that exists between Arthur and Vassia and Zach, and as other people join alongside, people like Kosi, people like Araf, and people like Amy. So the conversation was quite very long, quite very informative, full of history. And here we get to learn about Unwin, the man whom Araf gave power to many years ago, but Araf could not hear back from him. But Unwin had actually go about using his power for bad things, using it to perform something that is quite horrendous, and it was going about also giving people similar powers, making people have some sort of superpowers. But the aim that Araf told him while it was giving him those power was that they should use it for the good of humanity. But Unwin had a separate plan. It was going about using it in an horrendous manner, using it in a terrible manner. And now he had even agreed with Morgana to, kill those people with superpowers all over the world, just for him to be able to rule the nations of the world. And that's why I love to consider this novel, the Simon Superhero in Training, a quest for power. Because judging from the scenario of what happened between Unwin, he's the one who is going about wanting to destroy the world, wanting to take control of the whole universe. And as such, for him to do that, he had to kill Araf. That was a man who gave him the power. And from the history also that I learned here, some parts are very captivating. I was like, oh no, I don't want it to be like this. Oh no, this shouldn't have been this way. But it was very amazing actually, and very funny for me to get to know that Araf and Unwin possess a sort of a similar power, something like that. Unwin keep going about capturing people with superpowers, performing a lot of experiments on them, trying to extract those power from them to use it for his own good. This part is very amazing. It's full of action, and here you get to be introduced to characters like Etienne, to characters like Navy, to characters like Jenny and other people. So, Unwin's task was quite very hard, quite repelling, quite terrible, quite captivating, and very funny at the same time. And this led to a terrible fight eventually, that Arthur was trying to help Simon to perform some vision, and from his vision he was able to realize that Unwin and Morgana, after Navy, there's another boy who was possessed with superpowers, and they're trying to capture him also. So, they're actually able to capture some other people, but some of them were able to escape through the help of Kosi. I think Jenny was retrieved from there too. That was a lady who has a bulletproof skin. And one of the things that I love about Simon Superhero in Training is the characterization. I love Lucas' choice of characters, and I love people like Mark. That was a young boy who can control machine and allow them to do his bidding, and always get money even if you want money from the ATM machine. And I love the impact, the sort of way whereby Mark was able to use his computer, his techish skills and techish power to fight Sin. There was a terrible fight that broke up within the Greenhold and Simon, and this part is so captivating. I never wanted it to end. It is so captivating, so awesome, so powerful, and I so much love it. It made me love the novel in an interesting manner that I cannot wait to see how the story is developed in the coming series. Talk about the situation that exists, the kind of connection that exists between Onwin and Morgana, which to my own perception I can sense that something is not right between the two. I suggest that Onwin is using Morgana for his own good, because for him to be able to collide with Morgana, that they should kill her own father, that was the same father of Arthur. The fight that broke up here was terrible. Araf was hurt. Vassia was mistakenly shot by Officer Ada. And Simon was taken to God knows where by this wicked Morgana, the Green Hood. This part I was like, oh my god, my admirable characters are getting hurt. If Araf is hurt, what is going to happen? Amy quickly helped Araf teleport him back to Africa so they can go and look for something to heal him. After Morgana had injected a particular syringe that has some chemicals and stuff, I don't know, inside him, and made him kind of losing his power, changing his face, aging dramatically. This novel is very amazing. And one thing I love to say again about it is that I love the science fiction features. That's the time being, that's the calculation of the time. There's a part whereby Simon and Zach were kind of trying to see what the distance that Simon could cover in meter per hour, something like that. So he would travel to the sky, go to the moon, come back, want to see if he can travel in the speed of light, something like that. It's very wholesome, it's very amazing. And I love the African features that the book has. I love the African features that the book is embedded with. And to my own perception also, there's a well-grounded number of research in the book. More reason why I love to consider it a fantastic science fiction that has a blend of fantasy and action thriller. I don't want to spoil Simon, Superhero in Training. I don't want to give too much away, and I don't want to talk too much about it. I just want to give you a short video book recommendation for you to have an idea of what Lucas Mayberry has had to communicate in this second book series, which had me captivated, and I cannot wait to read the third book series. It's awesome. It's well written. I love the characterization. I love the storytelling techniques. I love the scenario of the event that happens in the book. And the book reads scenically that you can paint image of each scene and scenario in your head as you read along. More reason why I love to consider that it's gonna make a very great and fantastic movie. If you'd love to get a copy of this book, I left a link in the description part of this review for you to get a copy directly on Amazon. And if you love it, I'd love you to want to start from here. This is the first book series before picking up this other one, and I left a link to both books in the description part of this review. If you watch this video to this point and you're yet to click on the subscribe button, I want to urge you to please click on the subscribe button over there. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you can get notified anytime I release new videos. Thank you so much for joining me in my review of Simon's Superhero in Training by Lucas W Mayberry. See you in my next video. Goodbye.